Hey, my name is Zachary Smith. Today I'm going to be talking about the Chroma 500 series preamp from Than Liftoff. If that sounds like something you're into, stick around. Okay, so the Chroma preamp is a 500 series preamp that has a lot of kind of use as a line level device and a lot of use as a mic preamp. It has a spot for a color module, and it has kind of two different preamp circuits in it, which you get to choose from. It also has a bit of an EQ. So let's take a quick look at the manual here. Here's what we got on the preamp. We have a mic input, which, if we're looking at my units, is here. So when that is selected, you're kind of off of your line level device. You have phantom power. This high gain mode, it kind of adds, what does it add? Another 26 dB of gain to the signal. So if you're having trouble kind of pushing things, you can definitely engage that. And then this middle part is the color section. So this is, you have a drive for your color module, and then you have the mix. What I have installed here is called the Royal Blue. It's a transformer and a Neve 1081 circuit, I believe. So you can kind of drive that and then bring it in. The Royal Blue does have an EQ part. I've used it with the EQ. Right now it's disengaged, so when we do some sound samples, you're just going to be hearing the sound of that preamp circuit without the EQ portion. And then at the bottom, you have your output, which is just a clean gain, and then you have a high frequency and low frequency. Internally, these can be adjusted. You have a presence and an air for the high frequency, and then you have a sub or bass for the low frequency. Just for our uses today, we're going to hear the air in the high frequency and the bass on the low frequency. Okay, so just looking again at the screen here, you can see clearly we also have this meter which works from the center out in both directions, so a little different than most meters. If we look on the inside, we have the color module. Like I said, we have the Royal Blue installed in these units that we're going to hear today. And then we have, and we're running it in normal mode. Then we have the vintage N boost. So we have number 2 selected on our options, this 3-way switch. And we're using the air frequency boost, and the low frequency is on the bass. So that kind of sets you up for what's going on with this preamp. Let's run some drums through it just to get started and hear what this thing has to offer. So I'm running it in Pro Tools. I have some drum tracks here. I'm just going to run the whole mix out and through these preamps, and you can see me kind of tweak the knobs, and we'll listen to some different sounds. So this is running as a hardware insert for me, so I just have to set that up. These drums were recorded with these preamps here, so the overheads use these as preamps. Right now we're using them as line device, so we have the mic not selected, high gain, and phantom power and polarity are all off. Here's without. Here's with. So you can see those lights going. I'm going to turn off the EQ, turn off the color module, and we'll just hear the preamp circuit first. you can hear it's got a nice tightness. That's the Neve preamp. Here's the API. Neve. Back to the API. So you can hear we're getting a nice amount of saturation on those. But, you know, obviously we can clean things up quite a bit. These lights kind of really help you see how hard you're pushing things. Try and level match things a little bit here. Let's try with the color module engaged there. That's some more really audible distortion, saturation going on there. I have the mix at 100%. This is the royal blue module again, and the drive at 50%. If we crank that up, you can hear we're getting more than just saturation, we're getting compression, limiting when we push things that hard. But we might want to have it that crunchy and then just blend in a bit. If we go to a 25% blend. That's a pretty nice sound. Let's try the high frequency. Adding some clarity to the top end. Again, this is a boost and a cut, really. So we're rolling off some of the really high stuff and giving it a presence boost. Here's the low frequency. Again, this is on the bass mode. That definitely fattens things up. For this kind of a track, might want to go a little bit cleaner. Go something more like that. Try the API mode. Almost like the API mode a little bit more on this. So you can hear this preamp has a lot to offer. There's a lot of different kinds of color in there. It's really helpful on a full mix just to kind of bring everything to life. But it's also great on the drum bus, just giving a little bit of polish to that overall sound. We're getting some crunch. We're getting some saturation. We're definitely getting some compression. It's all happening, and obviously the EQ. So we're getting a lot out of this box. These modules are super useful in so many different ways that they're kind of a go-to, because what I typically am doing here is I'll track through them, but then I will also bring out my mix onto this Wardbeck console, and everything gets sent out, and I run the mix together back through there on the way back into Pro Tools. So that gives me the ability to kind of mix into it and just give everything a little bit of saturation, which I do use in the box saturation, but I find that this combination of things really brings a track to life and can kind of give you that 3D feeling that you're looking for sometimes. If a lot of tracks don't, even if there's a lot of saturation and color on things, they sometimes can feel a bit squished together and one-dimensional. So this 500 series unit is so helpful for just kind of bringing things to life. The This is obviously a preamp that was based on Louder Than Liftoff's Silver Bullet, which is a 2-space rack mount preamp and color box. And so these kind of do the same thing in the 500 series format. It's very much a similar kind of circuit. These are really useful for me because they're just like these other units. They can be used as preamps, and gives me more kind of color on the way going in, which I'm always trying to print my tracks with the appropriate amount of color. Let's just hear what this is all about on a full mix. So we'll import something here. What this is like. Okay, here it is without. Pretty clean mix. Let's bring it in. You can hear the Neve mode is pretty crunchy in that mid-range. If we go to the API mode, we get a little bit more headroom. But let's clean it up a little bit more. Kind of a bit of clarity comes with that API mode I'm liking. Let's try bringing in the color module. So that thickens up the mids a lot. Let's try a little less blend and a higher mix. Color mode in, color mode out. That's adding a nice little bit of deep in the middle. The high frequency boost brings out some of the saturation we're adding, so we probably don't want to go that hard. Let's try the bass. Go back to the Neve mode. So you can hear in that track we're able to bring some kind of bottom end and top end sparkle and a little bit of kind of glue and compression to the mid-range, especially with those Neve. The Neve circuit in here can really thicken up the middle while not making it feel muddy, because I think of the saturation that's being added in that range kind of helps things stay clear. Thanks for watching. My name's Zachary Smith. Please subscribe to my channel. Have a good one.